ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao. Let's go to the B island of Bonaire. So before we've been to Bonaire, have you ever been there?
I had never been to Bonaire. I've done Aruba and we did Curacao, but I had always heard about Bonaire because it is like the dive destination that dreams are made of.
Yeah, everyone who I've known that's ever been to Bonaire talks about how special and unique the diving is. So Kinga, let's dig into that. What makes diving in Bonaire so different from any other spot around the world that you've been to or know of?
Great question. So, outside of, you know, how beautiful it is underwater, we'll get into that. What makes it so unique is the logistics of it. Because most places you go to and you have to hire an outfitter, you have to hire a boat. It's actually very expensive. Diving is not a cheap hobby. So what makes Bonaire so unique is you arrive, and if you're a diver, what you do is you do an intro dive. So they make sure that you are capable, you are safe, that your buoyancy is good, so that you're respecting the coral reefs, and then the world is your oyster. Basically, what you can do is you can go to a dive shop, you can rent your tanks, refill your tanks, rent all your gear if you didn't bring it with you, have a truck, and there's a map, and then there are these yellow markers along the road, and each one of them is a shore dive destination. So you can drive around this island, stop at any one of these markers, and get in for a dive yourself. So you're on your own schedule. You don't have to hire anyone. You can. When we were there, we actually had dive masters that came with us, showed us the salt pier, some other gorgeous places, but you can do it on your own. And that is incredibly unique. So whether you are a free diver, a scuba diver, a snorkeler, or just a beach bum, it is beautiful.
And I think the thing that's interesting too is that they're all shore dives.
Yes, which is very rare.
To me, I'd never even heard of, or I know when I was doing my scuba dive certification, we almost did a shore dive off the coast of Malibu, but we didn't. And that
I've done that.
But people, it's not great, right? It's not good. But here, it's literally the whole coast of the island is dive spot after dive spot after dive spot after dive spot, and it's a playground where, like you said, you just pull up with your truck and you pick a spot, and you're not on a boat, you're not with a ton of other people.
No, it's on your own.
You just get to do it on your own schedule, which blew my mind.
And it's very rare because usually the best dive destinations are accessible by boat. And you said Malibu. Look, Malibu's beautiful. I love kelp forest. I love all of that. But we have waves, so it's treacherous to get in with all of that gear. Whereas in Bonaire, it is calm, smooth, beautiful water. So the access points, maybe you have to walk down a little bit, but it's gorgeous. And it's a desert island, so it's a very, very unique landscape. You have cacti everywhere. You have wild donkeys, which are, be careful when you're driving, but they are super cute when they're around. So that was fun. We went up into the national park.
Yeah, talk about the national park.
Oh
so
my goodness.
That's one thing I think about Bonaire that people don't necessarily realize is there's national parks on this small island. Describe the national park we drove through. And we only saw glimpses of it.
We did. So the National Park, Washington Sabagi, is beautiful. You go in, again, you're driving by yourself, and they have a wonderful little visitor center with a great shark exhibit on that. And then you just kind of tour around this park, and there are hiking spots that you can go to. You go early in the morning because it does get really hot. And then beach after beach after beach that is just turquoise cove, flamingos. There are flamingos in the salt flats. Like, it is so dreamy. And then we got to this area that is kind of a renowned place where you can jump off the cliff, which he did. I didn't because I'm scared of heights, but Justin did this cliff jump, and it was beautiful into turquoise water.
And the path to the cliff jump was this rocky path of orange rock with cactus along the way. And then when you get to the end of the jump, it was mind-blowing. It was a mind-blowing adventure through that national park. And there was also one stop we made to that small beach with the pink sand. Where we walked down these steps into this cove almost. There's like a tree hanging off the side of the wall, this cave wall, and then pink sand and this beautiful water's flowing in. What do you got there?
I got a sand heart with pink coral.
Oh my God. And it was just incredible. The beach there, you know when you watch those like moving art shows on Netflix,
what it looked like.
Where it shows, I felt like we were in a moving art display.
I agree.
In that national park. And thank God Kinga knows how to drive stick shift and manual, 'cause the roads are a little bumpy, and I was not driving on that trip. But Kinga
so fun.
handled the car very well, and we had a great experience in that national park.
We did. So the national park, one of our favorite beaches was there. It was beautiful, but there were gorgeous beaches all around the island.
Yes.
And the island's not that big, so you can easily drive yourself around. Outside of diving, which one of our favorite destinations was the Salt Pier.
Yes.
Probably the most famous
So
one.
what is the Salt Pier? And explain the pink.
So
in
the
Bonaire.
Salt Pier is actually the salt that they are mining on the island, and the salt goes out all over the world. And it's also why the flamingos are there. So it is, on one side, you have these gorgeous pools where they are evaporating and collecting the salt. And then the Salt Pier is how they get it onto the ship. So when you dive the Salt Pier, you basically have the pillars of the pier, which are just encrusted with life. And there's a lot of like macro life. So you have these beautiful corals. We saw 2 fish fighting. It's just such a cool experience. Like beautiful, beautiful, beautiful colors absolutely everywhere. And then when you're done diving, you can go land sailing. You can go kite surfing. You can go relax and eat delicious food. It's really, and that little pier walk, remember we ate dinner every night, not the pier, but kind of like the little walkway along the marina where the boats were moored. That was so beautiful. And it's really not a very populated island. So you have this kind of remote, lovely feel, this desert feel. We went caving. We went to this amazing cave. We swam through all these beautiful chambers. I cut up my foot, and then a shrimp got onto my foot and ate the blood. I know, totally grotesque, but incredibly cool, I have to say. Super cool. But I loved that as well.
In the caving thing, the 2 adventures, caving and land sailing, the caving, those are adventures that don't necessarily get a lot of buzz because you have they're
overshadowed by the diving.
The diving, and you have the pink water of the salt mine area, but the caving was an interesting experience because we really did learn about the formation of the island and walking under it through these caves.
The limestone.
And we say land sailing, but people probably don't know what land sailing is. So
how would you even describe that?
It's a very family-friendly activity for kids and families. And describe it, land sailing.
It's basically a little, what would you call that? Like almost like a sidecar to a motorcycle. There's no engine, so and there's a big sail.
There's
So imagine yourself sitting in something that looks like a go-kart, and you are being pushed by the wind, and that was super fun. I actually fit into the sidecar of Justin's, mostly so I could film it for us, and it was hilarious. Yes.
She was my child on the land sailing adventure.
So it was super fun. So something for everyone.
We laughed so hard because it's this course that you're just using the wind to sail around, and you crash and you bump into people, and it was a lot of fun. And I think Bonaire as an island as a whole, when I first got there, I was kind of like, I don't get it. But as the more time we spent there, I was like, oh, I get it now.
It got us.
It got us, and it was an incredible island experience. And that diving, I don't know how I cannot go back to try and go more diving there. It was incredible.
I hear you. So go to Bonaire, come for the diving, stay for everything else. Beautiful place.